Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Ask the Experts, where we put you in front of some really smart people to help you run your business better. RT has a vast network of experts internally and externally, and our goal is to simply help you be better today than you were yesterday. So, speaking of really smart people, Pete McDonnell has worked with RT for a few years now as the insurance and risk management consultant and has helped our customers save as much as 15% on their insurance premiums by helping them reduce their risk. Now, what I didn't mention is we don't necessarily always tell people this because we don't want to make promises we can't always keep, but it has been as high as 20% in some cases, but that's very rare. We just stick with 15%, but still an impressive number to kind of throw out there that it has been done before. So, Pete, thank you for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Dave. Thanks for having me.
All right, so what we do before we start is just to get to know our guest a little bit better. So we're going to start with three things here. And I kind of cheated on this because the last question is a two-part question, but we'll get to that later. So let's start with how did you get into the insurance industry?
I'm from a family of folks in insurance. I grew up in the North Shore of Chicago. My dad was an insurance executive with some insurance companies in downtown Chicago. Really, I think just by nature, there's seven of us kids, and four of us ended up in insurance. So I'm one of the four. So I guess it was in the blood, maybe.
Cool. It's a good story, family business, huh? So I guess you've got a lot of wealth of knowledge around you.
Well, they've
Um,
been, yeah. There's a lot of more knowledge in the rest of my family than me, but we try to we try to pull along.
No, I've worked with you for a few years now. I would say I respect your expertise for sure. That's which is why you're here. But
Well, thank you.
speaking of expertise, what is the greatest piece of career advice you've received?
It's actually one from my father, which was simply this: if you're not doing what you want, you're not going to be happy. So
Hmm.
move on. And that's
Yeah,
one of the things is in my long career, it's been a really great guiding post, if you will, because things out of our control come along in jobs and whatever it might be. But that's a great lesson, and I'm glad to have learned it.
yeah. I remember I was maybe a freshman or sophomore. My high school baseball coach, who was also the athletics director of the school, said something very similar. I'm one of the few people that's very lucky to love what I do every day. And he's in his 80s now and he's still coaching baseball. He's retired as athletics director, but he's still coaching baseball. But it's that kind of passion that I think really brings out the best work and just being the best teammate because you're more enjoyable to be around. You like working with people. And I just think overall having a passion for what you do is so important.
You just hit on,
So
if I can, Dave, real quick, you
yeah,
just hit on the key word I would make to make a recommendation to anybody is the word passion.
yeah.
Find your passion as early as you can in your career, and your career will be a whole lot different. And follow your passion. Just
Yeah,
enjoy.
for sure. There's so many quotes. I think Steve Jobs said something about if you haven't found what you love to do, keep looking. And
Right.
obviously, Steve Jobs was very fortunate to make billions of dollars doing what he loved. So
Yep.
take that for what you will. But anyway, so two-part question. Last question. Favorite thing of 2024, and what are you looking forward most to in 2025?
I read this question of yours a couple times, and I'm taking it on the personal side. If I hope that's okay to do,
Yeah.
but favorite thing of 2024 was I'm blessed to have four kids and four grandkids actually, and
Wow.
just enjoyed all of them tremendously in the last years. And in 2025, we're going to have a fifth grandchild. So
Oh, wow.
that's really what I'm
Nice.
looking forward to is the
Congratulations. That's
enjoying of
great.
that. Very blessed.
Yeah, I have two kids, 4 and a 2-year-old, two toddlers. And anyone that has three, four kids, five kids, I don't know how you guys do it, but you guys are superheroes to me. And I love my kids, but I think any parent will tell you they can be a handful. So
Yeah.
that says
Once
a
there's
lot.
more
Yeah.
than two, the parents are way outnumbered. So that
Yeah,
that that
yeah,
whole game changes quite a bit.
yeah. Maybe we'll connect offline. If we ever have a third one, I'm gonna have to come to you for some parenting advice. So let's get into the bulk of our show. We're going to talk about saving money for our customers or potential customers through insurance premiums and how we do that. So let's start from the beginning here. Let's say you're opening up a business in the food service space, getting the floor plans together. There's so much logistical work. What are some things you can be proactive about to ensure you have low insurance rates from the very beginning?
Insurance from an underwriter standpoint is underwriters are charged with trying to make their decisions to write business that has the lowest claims chances. That's where insurance companies really make their money, on lower than what we call expected claims. Without getting into detail about that, from an owner's standpoint, management's involvement in making the different areas more safer, both in terms of their employees, the buildings themselves, the liability, negligence exposures. So slips and fall mats, proper building construction to code, fire sprinklers, and then certainly back to the RT world of automation. What's management doing to invest in the chance for lower work comp claims? That's what RT story is all about, as well as on the property and fire losses. And we'll talk some more about that. But that's when management takes these steps and is recognized by underwriters. Underwriters have pricing tools at their disposal to apply to the better than average risks. And that's what we do for accounts, especially ones that bring in, significant change to improve the risk.
Yeah, I think just being proactive and just making sure insurance is you're taking it seriously, right? Not just
Right.
It's not just another part. We have to do this, we have to have it, and let's just pick the random, let's go one quote and like be done with it, right? Like doing your due diligence and being proactive about it is very important. So in my own experience with home and auto, and I'm going to assume it works similar to commercial, not having the experience in the commercial space.
It does. It does.
Okay.
By the way.
Okay, cool. Good to know. So I learned something new today. Insurance companies are kind of all over the map, right? Home and auto, you go to two different insurance agents or insurance companies, and you're going to have, I don't know, I'm throwing out a number to exaggerate for making a point, right? So let's say 10,000, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. It's like it feels like sometimes it can be so different. So how do business owners make sure they're working with a reputable insurance company that isn't going to, for lack of a better term, screw them over when they need them? Because as with most things, you get what you pay for, right? But then you're not exactly paying a low insurance rate. So where is the balance or where is the trade-off there?
Yeah, that's a great question. And actually, whether it's personal lines, which is the homeowners, and personal auto, or the commercial lines, these other lines, truth of the matter is they're the layer in between the insurance company and the client, the insurance agent, is where the number one, in my view, important management decision, if you will, as an owner, who's the agent you're working with. And there's a lot of characteristics to good agents versus not so good agents. And what I mean by not so good agents are those that don't really put the time and effort in on each of their policy holders every renewal to try to get them a better deal. Many agents are both reluctant and frankly lazy, and they just want to renew these accounts. That's a really detriment to the client. The other side of your great question is, think of the landscape of insurance companies, both personal lines as well as commercial, life, health, all those. There's literally thousands of insurance companies in the United States. Just in commercial insurance, there's somewhere between those are the ones that write commercial businesses of all different types, restaurants, hotels, casinos, trucking operations, entertainment risks, all those kind of things. There's literally 1,500 to 2,000 of those around the country. And the key is not all insurance companies want to write restaurants. Not all insurance companies want to write hotels. You've got to have the agents who have relationships with the carriers and the knowledge of the carriers and then at a point in time, like 2024, 25, what carriers want to write, let's say, 50 location restaurant risks. Those are the ones that those RT clients, for instance, those are the ones those clients' agents need to be presenting to the client, because if I'm an underwriter that doesn't isn't aggressively going after restaurant risk, but I can still write them, I'm going to quote a certain number. Let's just make it up and say $100,000 premium. But a more aggressive carrier who really wants to entertain and write restaurants might be at 60 or 70,000. So that's the key, is your agent, though, because your agent is the one who has the relationships with the carriers.
Gotcha. Yeah. So someone who's willing to do the due diligence and put in the work. Someone who cares, it sounds like.
Someone who cares.
Yeah. So
and then there's a lot of factors I think we're going to go into here a little bit about how to improve a risk. But the key is making sure you're aware that not all carriers want to write your account, whether it's a home in South Carolina or a home in Alaska. There's only certain carriers, but the same kind of thing with businesses.
So we've been to the beginning for business owners who haven't yet to open their doors. How do we be proactive there? Now, let's say we're in the middle of it. We've had our business for a few years, but your premiums are going up for no reason, kind of like home and auto have the last few years. I actually just switched mine last year because we had such a huge spike with the one we had a few years ago. We had to get off of it without any claims either. But what are some things a business owner can do to get it back down or to a more manageable number? Or is it kind of just status quo now?
Well, number one is kind of goes the nature of the next renewal when it comes up. How many proposals is your agent presenting to that owner? Is it one, just the expiring carrier? Well, if it is, the expiring carrier doesn't have any competition, and so they're going to name their price. But if the agent does what they should be doing, which is going out and getting 3 or 4 other alternative proposals, and then competing with it's always best as a incumbent carrier to stay on the account. The longer you can, the more profit the carrier will make. But if I don't have competition, I'm going in at one price and hoping just to price it high. So the key again is your agent bringing 3, 4 proposals. That's the number one thing I'd recommend any owner of a business, is making sure your agent's doing the job they're supposed to be doing or should be doing. And then it goes to what carriers are they hungry for your kind of business? Do they want to write a telephone cable company? Maybe some do, maybe some don't, but whatever it might be, same kind of thing in food service.
So this might have been covered already, but what are some things business owners are not aware of or don't pay enough attention to when it comes to lowering risk?
Just their own account. Quite honestly, many, I think the best approach when an account comes up for renewal is that your agent, or if you've got someone doing this for you, is you're building your own history. An underwriter's job is to, during every 5 days week, let's say they get 100 applications on their desk to review, decide which ones they want to quote, and then go after those, right, to quote, whether it's new business or renewal. If all of the 100 applications look the same, meaning some don't have 5 and 10-year premium and loss claims experience included, they all just look the same, they don't stand out. Those and the agent job, again, is one, or if a company has a risk manager, that you build your history story, because that's what underwriters' job is they base there's like 3 components to underwriting. One is prior loss experience and profitability. The other is current conditions of the account, meaning terms, is it better than average risk, worse than average risk? What are those things? To your point about what's management doing to improve the risk. The third part of underwriting then is to price the account for the next 12 months. If good loss experience, prior 5 or 10 years experience, premium and claims, plus then with management at a company decides to, let's say, bring on RT in the last 12 months, and you've got that 20 location place of, let's say, restaurants, and all of a sudden you have total oil management system installed in all 20, when the big majority of work comp and property claims come from the kitchen. And so when underwriters look at that, boy, this here management's installed RT systems now. They're showing a lot of initiative to keep claims low. That's what we aggressively price in terms of meeting credits. So the more you improve the risk and the lower the chance for claims, the better pricing. That's the story of insurance.
Yeah, so many layers to this, right?
A lot of
There's
layers.
just
Yeah.
things that things that people don't think about. I feel like with my personally, like my home and auto, it's like we have it. Okay. And like that's all I worry about, right? But then I feel like with people like yourself, the consultants, they're thinking about a million different things that could possibly happen, a million different variables. And so that's why your job is so important. So
Well,
this is
another
all,
example, real quick, if I can add
yeah,
in, is one
yeah,
of the things that's one part of insurance, and we're right now in what's called a hard market, which
yeah,
is pricing going up, especially in
mhm,
like property lines and
yep,
automobile lines.
yep,
Huge in commercial insurance, property
yeah,
lines. That's because of all the catastrophes that have been happening that don't have
hmm,
anything really to do with a particular account.
yeah,
But one of the things that owners want to be doing is, again, build your history, because if
hmm,
the market is going up and rates are trying to be put on accounts, even if they haven't had bad loss experience, well, show me your account, or as an underwriter, prove that to me by doing a nice claims exhibit that shows,
hmm,
hey, out of 100 accounts, I can get, an underwriter thinks I can get rate increases on 80 of the 100, but the 20 that have the best loss experience, I can't get the rate increases, so the prices will stay lower because
hmm,
of good loss experience. And those are, just to your point, there's a lot of things that go into it, but build a great story and underwriters should respond. The early part of your question too, if your business was with one carrier for 10 years, is that a good thing? The question I would say is, how profitable has your account been for the 10 years for that carrier? Because it's
hmm,
been no losses. They've made a ton of money. So
yeah,
what we want to do is build that story for the next renewal that shows how all this money they've made because you haven't had claims experience. That carrier should be much, much more aggressive on pricing, but they've got to be presented with this. This is again where one step action point I would have for all owners is make sure your agent does a 1 or 2 page narrative write up of your account and submits it
hmm,
to the carrier. So there you got your current carrier quoting with a updated story. Plus, then again, remember, have the agent be quoting 3 or 4 other regional carriers to be competitive. Show they're doing the job and keeping your account. There's carriers out there every renewal for your business or my business or whatever who want to write our renewals. It's, are we are we getting to those carriers and seeing what their pricing is? That's generally where most owners get very frustrated because they don't have other options put in front of them when they should be.
hmm. Gotcha, gotcha. Um, so we've kind of touched upon this kind of working with RT customers and saving, companies X amount of percent off of their
Right.
premiums. What is your best story when it comes to an RT customer? Or it doesn't have to be an RT customer, just anyone when it comes to maybe someone who's really reluctant to work with you, but maybe they're forced by corporate or someone to contact you and they didn't really want to take the meeting and then you completely turned them 180 and just blew them away. And I know this probably happens every day for you, but you got to pick your best one.
Well, we're very fortunate, and this is a big credit to all the RT sales folks who I had a chance to work with, and the R&D folks and things like that, because our story is a very, very compelling one. Our whole initiative is about educating. We're not selling anything. This is no cost, no obligation. What we're doing, though, is educating the brokers, and the brokers then educate their carriers as to the all of these benefits brought on by Total Oil Management's automation and AutoMist's automation. These are two, from an insurance person standpoint, one of a kind. This is so unique. I share with a lot of people today, just in terms of the restaurants. There's about 1,000,001 restaurants in the United States today, physical locations, and RT's in this really big, powerful number, about 45,000. But big, huge number of current client locations. But in the grand scheme of things, remember I mentioned 1,000+ carriers, lots and lots of carriers hadn't, up until the last year and a half, 2 years ago, started hearing about the RT story. They're responding in kind now. These are game changers. To answer your question, we had a very large, over 500 location new account that we did a claims experience, loss experience for them. We were talking to them both about oil management and auto mist. This is down in the Southwest about 8 months ago. Again, very large account. And we went in and looked at prior 10 years of claims experience and found all of the oil related workers' comp and property claims they had paid out. Senior management had no idea they had paid these claims, but when we did the totaling up, which is part of what we do is these loss analysis, out of their own pocket, because they carry what we call a large deductible, they paid
Mhm.
over $2 million in oil related costs.
Wow.
And that all of that analysis was a big part of the decision by the CEO to begin installing auto mist in all of their locations, which was a great win for us. We have a lot of other wins in terms of oil management and such, but that was a big one for auto mist
Yeah, that $2 million. Wow, that is,
that they paid out of pocket because they had
yeah,
this, instead of the insurance company. Yeah.
that's crazy. Yeah, I know that we did a case study with Burger King, a Burger King franchisee in Kentucky. I think he had 7 locations. And this is a little plug for RT, but you're listening to an RT Ask the Experts. So, our audience is going to have to take it for what it is. But we did a case study of a Burger King franchisee in Kentucky, and ever since he installed RT Total Oil Management, he's had zero workers' compensation claims, according to him. So I just think there are so many ways that business owners can save on insurance premiums. Automation, RT being one of them. Let's talk about the future of automation. We know that automation can lower risk, but there are cons as well. You kind of lose the personal experience, the face-to-face interaction. If you go to NRA, National Restaurant Association show in Chicago, a lot of it is about robots in back of the house,
Right.
robots
Right.
waiters, robot servers. You know, I think you can really imagine walking into a restaurant, ordering off a screen, giving them your table number, sitting down, having robots cook it, robot server bring it out to you at your table, and you don't see a single person in the restaurant. It's kind of like Back to the Future in a little bit. So that's a long-winded way to ask you, where do you see automation going in the future, and do you see food service operations completely going that way because insurance and these risk factors are just so high? They're like, okay, we want to get rid of all of that.
Yeah, the automation, although RT, we've got a 25 plus year history with RT, of their automated system. So that's a long, long time. A lot of these things that you're talking about now in terms of robotics for hamburger flipping and other things are frankly less than 5 years old. From an insurance trend standpoint. Um, that's still new. I think the timing of that, how much of this will actually be adopted, this wage increase thing that's hit the United States in several states, California in particular, the last couple of years, will that still stay in place is a big question I have, because that's what's driving automation out there. For instance,
Mhm.
companies are just being forced to go the automation route because of the incredibly high cost of wages right now. Let's
Mhm.
see if that sticks. But I will say to the RT story, which is what's one of the big compelling things I've learned and follow, is let's say in a restaurant location of 40 employees that don't have the auto oil system installed right now, easily 25% of those 40 employees are in the back in the kitchen near or around the fry machine doing all of these dangerous things, carrying the hot oil. We all don't know what that means. Once the total oil management system's installed and the push button operations happen, those 15 employees, it's not like a company eliminates the 15. They're able to redeploy them within the restaurant to frankly safer and more productive areas of the restaurant. At least that's a lot of the feedback our T clients give, that
Mhm.
much happier employment base, much safer environment, lower claims costs. And now
Mhm.
we're helping with the lower premium. Our T's automation is here to stay. We'll see over time how it adapts. I know, again, in food service, the robotics in auto manufacturing, robotics are big. all these other kind of things, but it's not across all industries yet. So it's kind of early to tell, I think, but I do think our T system, again, from a pro RT standpoint, myself like you are, it's here to stay, and it's a game
Mhm.
changer. Our biggest charge is just getting our story out to everybody and letting them understand and be educated by risks that have RT systems are just a much better risk from an insurance standpoint.
Yeah. So what is the biggest roadblock to your access to, let's say, our customers, right? Because to me, I have RT. My next step is probably contacting you to see if I can lower my insurance premiums. Is it just not enough people know about you? Do we need to put your face on some RT material and get it out there? Or what is kind of the roadblock or the hesitation some customers may have of contacting you? Is it a long process?
I would probably say we're just getting started. With 40,000 plus clients, we're 2 years in. We've got hundreds of success stories. We've dozens of insurance carriers who are on an individual account basis giving premium credits now. We're trying to reach as many RT clients to where we cycle in. To your point, is 60 to 90 days in advance of the next renewal. So
Yeah.
remember, insurance is on like a 12-month policy period.
Hmm.
So let's
Yeah.
say January 1st is coming up. Now's a perfect time. We've got we have 2 months left. Now's a perfect time for us to be talking to the broker for those clients that have their renewals coming up. So it's really about as soon as we can get to as many RT clients and find out their renewal dates. That's the process we're in now, and we are working on some things to, if you will, really ramp up our exposure to get
Hmm.
more and more involvement, especially on the onboarding of all the new clients that RT is bringing in and some other areas. But we've had a lot of success for a couple of years, and it took a while to get our story going, took a while to get our successes in motion, but we now have the train out of the station, if you will, and it's we're just really ramping up now.
Yeah, it usually takes a little bit. Nothing's happened at the snap of a finger, right? Because
Right.
you need to get in there, you need to work with people, and then you kind of use your successes from the first year to kind of
Yep.
open up the door to conversations in the coming years, right? Because now we can say you've saved people, 15% off of the insurance premiums. Now that really catches someone's attention, right? So I
You
think, yeah,
Yeah,
go
we
ahead.
we always are careful though and say we could possibly save
We
you.
can, yes,
The one
yeah.
thing I'll
It's
point
not
out to
a,
you is
yeah,
if I'm sorry, is this is all on an individual account basis. So
yes.
the account, whether it's one location or the 20 location, kind of has to stand on its own to the
Yeah.
underwriters. Did it have
Mhm.
prior claims experience that wasn't great? Even if RT systems are there, a carrier won't give as much credit. And then also the lines of insurance. If workers' comp experience hasn't been great, but property's been fine, well, maybe we can get some credit on the property or the general liability, but not the work comp. So that's why we work this on an account by account basis.
Yes. Thank you for keeping me in check, Pete, because
Oh, no, you're good. These are
I
great
have been
questions.
I have been caught by legal. Diana Gessy King, who is our general counsel, she will edit my stuff and she always adds the word could or can save you.
My
Always got
pleasure.
to make sure that legal liability there. So hopefully you kept me from getting in
Yes,
trouble today.
yes, sir. We're in this
So
together, Dave. Yeah.
yeah, I'll throw you a little bit of a curveball here, and I'm sure everyone's gonna want to know this one. Can you help me save on my home and auto insurance?
I can. Call me later. Yes.
Okay, will do. All
I
right.
think I can, but yes.
All right. How do RT customers get in touch with you?
I'm my contact info is on the website. We've got certainly uh, P McDonnell at rt-inc.com. My cell number is 317-460-9819. We're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So but we've got a lot of literature we'd like to get out to folks. And so whatever it takes, but would love to hear from as many folks as we can. The premium saving opportunities out there to go get. And we just want to do this for as many folks as we can. So we're wide open and we've got plenty of support to help as many RT clients as we can, both new prospects and existing clients, just to make sure everyone's aware of that.
It's very ballsy of you, Pete, to give out your phone number and then say we're open 24 hours, 7 days a week. Your phone's
Well,
gonna be
maybe
ringing
I
off the
should call
hook
you
now.
and we can edit that part out. But
Yeah, yeah. But
I'm kidding. Just the
I will,
opposite, please.
yeah, I will put the information at the bottom of the screen here
Yes.
later
Okay.
on in post. So everyone will have it in front of them. They can contact you. Hopefully, honestly, I think having you on is not necessarily, obviously, we want to do good things for RT, right? But I think having you on is really a benefit for our customers. Like we want to make sure our customers are taken care of, they're getting the most out of our relationship. And so having someone like you help them save on their insurance premiums is just an added layer of working with us. And hopefully people can really tell that RT cares about its customers and that we're here for you guys and want to save you money and want to help you in whatever way we can. And so,
Thank you. You
uh,
asked that question earlier, Dave. If I can just add in real quickly to your great point there. There's been good numerous instances where both very large RT customers who we've worked with and also the breadbasket of RT is the 1 to 5 location client. Those
mhm,
clients are the fabric of the company and fantastic,
mhm.
who have commented to us about our insurance initiative being they've never seen it before of a company like RT that has invested in this to simply help their clients lower premium. And that's been recognized. So thank you for your nice comments, but that is also being recognized very much by the client. And it's making a difference, RT in the marketplace. There's just the one RT out there who has this initiative going,
Yeah,
and it's making a difference for folks.
awesome. All right. So if you like this, make sure you like, subscribe, share out on social, on YouTube, wherever that you are taking this in. We appreciate you guys joining us today. So thank you, and we'll see you guys next time.